Welcome to a Fortnight on the Isle, my bi-weekly update series. I'm your host, King Crusoe. You can call me KC, and just like February, March is going by a little bit more quickly than I imagined that it would, not least because I have been super busy so far this month. It may not seem like it, this video is not going to actually contain a whole lot of active progress on certain things, but I have had a lot going on in my life, mostly in terms of work. I've been preparing in my real life job for things to be super hectic with some things. I've got some other stuff that I'm working on that I can't talk about right now, and I've also been doing a whole ton of work on future videos for the channel. In fact, at the time that I'm recording this, over the last 3 days, I just recorded and edited 10 videos altogether. Yeah, no, actually I did that in 2 days. I still have 2 more videos that I have to edit that I recorded prior to that. So, it's been a pretty chaotic couple of weeks for me. Let's just kind of jump into what has been going on with my reading, just like I would normally start here. It doesn't seem like I've made that much progress, but it also seems like I've made some, and that's because a couple of the books that I have read have been on the shorter side. I technically started The White Country by Boston Tarrant a couple weeks back and talked about a little bit of the start of it last time. I believe I was around 40 pages in the last Fortnight on the Isle when I covered this, and I said basically that I was enjoying the way that it started. I enjoyed the setup, but I could definitely see how there were certain aspects about the whatever the term is. I'm just forgetting everything off the top of my head. My brain is very tired. The conceit of the story, how certain aspects of that could be handled relatively poorly. I'm happy to say that having finished the book now, the book's actually really great. In fact, the first 40-45 pages is by far the weakest portion of it. I'd say the very start, prologue, first couple chapters after that are solid, but much of the rest of that setup is a little bit slower, a little bit more, okay, exactly are we going to be doing here? But once the actual plot starts moving, once you're actually following the sort of conspiratorial side of things, what it is that the main character is doing throughout the book, all of that is paced really great, very quick and easy read, all things considered, and I enjoyed the simplicity of it, especially after having just finished A Crown of Swords right before, or rather right when I started this book was when I was finishing A Crown of Swords. I would say it was solid. If you want to hear more about my thoughts on that, I have a 27-minute long review on it, and I actually think that review came out a lot better than I thought it would when I was actively recording it. After reading The White Country, I did very quickly read Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton for a Red Company read-along, and also to be able to go watch Mickey 17. So surprisingly, I somehow managed to finish reading the book before I went to actually see the movie, and it was solid. I enjoyed the book a decent bit. There are some weaknesses to it. In fact, some of the things that it does well, it also doesn't do to a solid enough degree to make this very easy to recommend. I'm going to have a review of this book that comes out, I think, in April. It's one of those 10-12 videos that I just recently recorded and got edited, so I don't remember specifically which day this one's scheduled for, but I'm going to definitely be doing a review on this at some point. I still need to write my review for it. We'll talk about some of that side of things a little bit later. Like I said, I enjoyed the book. It's not a fantastic book, but it kind of rests in that entry-level sci-fi sphere that Andy Weir kind of tends to reside in, so it's of that type of style. Whether that's a good or bad thing for you. The other thing that I've been able to get through here is started reading A Tale of Two Cities. I'm not horribly far in at this point, but a little bit further than I kind of anticipated I would be. I'm already 80-90 pages through the book out of 450 or something like that, maybe even a little bit less than that. So it's going by actually a little bit quicker than I thought it would. It's reading much smoother than I thought it would as well. The last time I read Dickens was with The Christmas Carol, and is it called The Haunted Man or whatever that other Christmas story is called? I have a Christmas writing collection thing that Dickens has from Penguin Books, and I read that a few years back. And, it was good. I enjoyed a couple of the stories in there, but the writing was a little bit denser. And I know that A Tale of Two Cities is a little bit different from Dickens as a rule. I've heard that a lot from a lot of different people. I've just been a little bit surprised by how quickly this is going. And I'm enjoying it with a question mark at the end because, there hasn't really been a whole lot that's happened yet. This is also something that I've heard about A Tale of Two Cities, that it takes a little bit to really get going, but once you're into it, it goes by super quickly and is really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing how things click together a little bit. I unfortunately didn't end up getting to read any of this morning at the time that I'm reading, otherwise, or at the time that I'm recording this video. Otherwise, I would probably have been able to start getting to the point where things are quickening up a bit. I'm a few chapters into part 2, and yeah, I've just been enjoying it a good bit for what it is so far, but I still have a good ways to go before I have any other opinions. On the short story front, I do have a few things that I could talk about, or rather that I would like to talk about in this video, but I can't, so I'm going to talk about that stuff probably here in a couple weeks if enough of it has been done. Otherwise, that means it's time for me to go into the coming releases videos that are going to be dropping on my couple of channels over the next 2 weeks. The main channel, it's pretty easy. All 5 of the next coming videos over this coming fortnight are book binge episodes. So this Tuesday on the 18th will be my review of Michael Crichton's Congo. All these videos, actually, all 5 videos that I'm about to talk about, I recorded and had edited over a month ago at this point. So it feels like I've already had these videos like published and out for a while, when no, in fact, they still need to come out, clearly. I'm excited for the review of Congo. On the 20th, this Thursday, will be part 1 of my Stephen King bibliography tier list type thing that I'm doing, where that first episode is just going to be dedicated to The Dark Tower alone, and understanding that the tier list is going to take forever to be able to actually do much to get rolling. I still have a few more Stephen King books that I need to read at this point before I can even do part 2, and having to read probably anywhere between 6 and like 9 King books in between each of these tier lists mean that it's probably going to be anywhere from like 1 to 2 years in between each tier list. So we'll see how that all happens to go, but I'm excited for Thursday's video nonetheless. Next Sunday on the 23rd will be a couple, it'll be a little bit of a longer video because I'm doing reviews of a couple different Rick Riordan anthologies, the Demigod Files and the Demigod Diaries, both of them, and then also incorporating a little bit of Percy Jackson and the Singer of Apollo as like a separate independent short story in that video as well. So that's what next week's video is going to be about. Next Tuesday's video on the 25th will be my review of The Aeneid by Virgil, a story that I am very conflicted on. On the 27th, next Thursday, will be my manga review and ranking, my next manga review and ranking, where I'm going to be talking about Monster by Naoki Urasawa, and I actually think that video is surprisingly decent. It's pretty lengthy because I'm talking about the entire thing instead of reviewing all of the arcs individually, which about halfway through the manga I realized I probably should have done, but didn't end up going that way. Or at least I didn't realize, like I said, that I should have done that until about halfway through. By that point, it was too late. So, you know, that's how things go sometimes. But either way, I'm excited for that video. And that thumbnail is also one of my favorites. I just really like the way that thumbnail came out. So, you know, on the second channel, I have a solid handful of videos coming out as well. First, I want to shout out a video that came out last Wednesday, actually, a pretty surprise video that I was not expecting to do at all until I suddenly decided, like literally a week ago from the time that this video comes out, like, you know what, I want to do this video, and then I just plowed through writing a script for it. This is an album review for Whitechapel's recent release, Hymns and Dissonance, called Whitechapel's Hymns and Dissonance Reminded Me Why I Love Music, and the title really says all that I need to say about that video here. Love that album, and there's a reason why it encouraged me to actually write a review for it. That came out on Wednesday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get audio waveform stuff working for that, so it's just a pretty blank, boring video. Nothing going on in that one at all, visually speaking, which is unfortunate because I like to at least have a waveform on those. I don't know why that stuff isn't working on my machine all of a sudden, but it wasn't, so that's unfortunate. Either way, tomorrow on the 17th will be episode 11 of Music Mania. This week I'm going to actually be talking about the new Coheed and Cambria album, another album from an independent artist that I recently discovered via Nick Nocturnal, and also, you know, a handful of other single releases as well. I'm going to be recording that video as soon as I'm done with this one. Next Monday on the 24th will be obviously episode 12 of Music Mania, where I'll talk about the new Before I Turn and Bloodywood releases and whatever else happens to come out then. So this is just a temporary placeholder thumbnail as a result of that. And then these next couple Saturdays on the 22nd and the 29th will be episodes 3 and 4 of my Remnant 2 Let's Play. Actually moving forward with that finally, because last week I actually got every single episode of that all edited. That's part of why I was super busy last weekend, as opposed to this weekend where, yeah, I got 16 or however many Let's Play videos done over the course of 1 week, and that was, or rather just a couple days, and that was pretty exhausting. But yeah, episodes 3 and 4 will be coming out, and those two will be doing the rest of Nayrud before moving on to the next world in the game. Hopefully, over this fortnight, I can also get another video done on the second channel, either this Wednesday on the 19th or next Wednesday on the 26th. Will be a review, a scripted review video, kind of in the vein of my album reviews, where I'll talk about Mickey 17 in full. The movie adaptation, obviously inspired by Mickey 7. I just haven't had time to write that yet. If not for the Whitechapel review, I might have been able to actually get that written, have it done in time for that video to have come out last week, maybe, but I don't think I would have been passionate enough for that to happen. Either way, I'm hoping that I can get that written in time for that to come out this week. Not 100% sure if that will be possible, though. If not, hopefully it'll be done next week instead. Next up is the bi-weekly writing, where there hasn't really been any progress on much of this stuff in general, unfortunately for me. In the fiction world, I have not gotten anything written in any way, shape, or form. That's not really anything new for the Reign of Ash, of course, but even in the Tributaries, I didn't get to circle back around to writing any stuff for that because of some of the other projects that I've been working on, which is actually really annoying, because I was actually hoping to have that first story completely written even before March even came around. Now we're halfway through March and nothing is really actually gotten done there. That's unfortunate, but even in the review and blog sphere, not a whole lot has been able to get written, just because I have not had time, been dealing with too many other stuff like at work, in my real life, and not had the energy at all to be able to do anything besides when I'm home. Besides making a million videos, that's what all of my free time has been spent doing the last couple weeks. So I only got 2,100 words written for book review stuff, and all 2,100 words of that was my Goodreads review for The White Country, which I obviously, put as pretty high priority last week because I wanted that review to come out at the same time. It came out a little bit early, I believe the evening before, but I wanted that review to actually be done in time for the release of the book, because that was an arc and I wanted it to be out before my video review version of it. So those two, released pretty shortly next to each other. That's why I prioritized that over some of the other book reviews that I need to write, like For Monster Volume 9, Red Rabbit, Crown of Swords, Mickey 7. I have several book reviews that I need to catch up on. I thought that I'd actually be able to circle back to a couple more of those this week, but it didn't quite happen, not least because of some of the music writing that I've been doing. I got about 7,300 words in music-related stuff between 9 albums and EPs that I reviewed, totaling about 2,600 words over the last couple weeks. Not a whole ton there. The real thing that kicked my butt was writing a 4,700, well, it was a 4,600 word review for Hymns and Dissonance, but you had another 150 words or something like that in total for the various mini review things that I did for Hymns and Dissonance every time that I re-listened to it before I actually wrote the in-depth review. But I did write a very in-depth review, turned into a 27-minute long video. It's quite lengthy, but I was quite passionate about that. Got that written, over half of that done in one evening after having already written all of the White Country review. So I wrote 4,500 words or something like that in one day, basically. And then I finished writing the Hymns and Dissonance review the next morning so that I could record it and have that ready for Wednesday release. And all of that ended up working pretty well, thankfully. But that's the vast majority of the writing that I did was in the music stuff, because I didn't write any game reviews. I have a few game reviews that I could write or that I need to catch up on, but obviously book review stuff is taking a higher priority. But what's taking the highest priority right now, or going to very soon here, is actually my film review of Mickey 7. I didn't get any words written for this, but I need to catch up on that pretty soon. So that's where I'm standing right now. For entertainment talk, and actually I think what's going to be happening these next couple of weeks, since I've got just about all of the video work that I could possibly be ahead on over the next couple weeks done, what it's looking like is these next couple weeks I'll be able to enjoy myself a little bit relaxing while also writing stuff, since I can generally write reviews while watching things kind of off the side pretty well, generally speaking. I'm looking forward to being able to do some of that, because these next couple weeks are obviously when March Madness stuff starts. At the time of this video's release, it's like Selection Sunday, basically, so I'm looking forward to being able to watch some of that. It's like the one time of year when I allow myself to watch basketball, because otherwise I would have a massive problem with it. So yeah, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of that these next couple of weekends, and writing reviews and catching up on some of that kind of stuff while, you know, watching games. Looking forward to that. But otherwise, what I did do the last couple of weeks was I did a very quick playthrough last weekend of Jurassic the Hunted, a nostalgia game for me on my Wii, so that I could have a surprisingly a two-part Let's Play of that game to come out after all of the Remnant 2 Let's Play is out. That'll give me buffer period on the Let's Play front all the way up through the end of June, basically. So that means that I can get through the crazy work stuff that's going to be encompassing the entirety of the next, 2 months or so, and then give myself a little bit of a vacation after that before I come back to actually doing some other work. That'll get me through that period, which will be nice. For the film stuff, because that was the only gaming that I did, I obviously watched Mickey 17 on opening weekend, because I read the book, because I was curious about the movie, and because that's part of the Red Company read-along that we did for the book, was so that we could also watch the movie if we wanted to. And spoiler alert, I thought that movie absolutely sucked. I think it is immeasurably worse than the book is in basically every way, shape, and form, in the parts that it tries to properly adapt. Since the movie does say inspired by the book Mickey 7, you know, it can kind of get away with being a little bit more its own thing, but it's trying to actually be an adaptation at the same time. So the things that it tries to adapt, I think, are notably worse and rushed and paced rather poorly, and the things that it does differently from the book, explicitly so, are just not great. I would say the most standout part of the movie is just how bad of a performance both Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette put in, which is no surprise on Mark Ruffalo's part. He's a terrible actor, and Toni Collette's part is a big surprise, actually, is very big surprise that she did not do very well. But to be fair, her character in the movie doesn't exist in the book, so it was just bad writing in the first place. So yeah, I don't think the movie was great. There was a whole lot of other bad stuff besides just those two performances, but boy, was this movie not very good for me. And that's a spoiler alert for the review video that I want to eventually get out over the next couple weeks if possible. But yeah, I did not enjoy Mickey 17. I thought that it honestly sucked. So yeah, but that is everything that I have to talk about this week. This fortnight, rather. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you managed to get through it all, I really appreciate it. If you did watch the whole thing, otherwise, I've got some work to get to. I've got another video that I need to do, and then I have plenty of things that I need to catch up on in the meantime. So for now, I've been your host, King Crusoe. You can call me KC, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.